Welcome to my YouTube channel, Mantu Pragapati, History of the Christopher Columbus Live. Christopher Columbus was born in 1451 in the city of Genoa, Italy. From childhood, he had a deep connection with the sea. While other children played in the streets, Columbus spent hours watching ships at the harbor. He often wondered, what lies beyond the endless ocean? What kind of world exists on the other side? Slowly, this curiosity turned into a powerful dream. As he grew older, he began sailing. He faced storms, shipwrecks, and dangerous sea battles, but none of these stopped him. At that time, reaching India was very difficult. Traders used long and risky eastern routes full of deserts and mountains. But Columbus believed something different. He felt that if someone sailed west across the ocean, they could reach India faster. He carried this idea to many kings and courts, but most people laughed at him. They thought he was crazy. For years, he knocked on doors, but no one agreed to support him. Finally, the King and Queen of Spain, Ferdinand and Isabella, showed interest. They decided to take a chance on his dream and gave him 3 ships, Santa Maria, Nina, and Pinta. On 3rd August 1492, Columbus set sail on the greatest journey of his life. Weeks passed on the open ocean. Sailors grew tired and scared, but Columbus refused to turn back. Then on the morning of the 12th of October, 1492, a sailor shouted that land had been spotted. Columbus stepped onto a new land, one that would change world history forever. He didn't know that he had reached America. He thought he had arrived in India, and because of this mistake, he called the local people Indians. When Columbus returned to Spain after discovering the new land, the entire kingdom was filled with excitement. People could not believe that across the ocean, there existed such a huge and unknown world. For the first time, Europe learned that the world was much bigger than they had imagined. The King and Queen of Spain welcomed Columbus like a hero. They believed that his discovery would bring new wealth, powerful trade routes, and great influence to Spain. Soon, many European sailors, traders, and soldiers began preparing to travel toward the new land. Some hoped to find gold, some wanted new territories, and some simply wanted to explore the giant world that had suddenly opened up. Across the ocean, the native people of America were equally surprised. They had never seen such clothing, weapons, or large ships before. At the same time, Europeans were amazed to witness the forests, mountains, animals, and cultures they had never imagined. Although the two worlds did not speak each other's language, a new chapter of human contact had begun. As more Europeans arrived, an exchange of goods, ideas, and plants took place. Horses, guns, wheat, and tools came from Europe, while potatoes, tomatoes, corn, and tobacco traveled from America to the rest of the world. This massive exchange is now known as the Columbian Exchange. However, this new connection also brought difficulties. Some European actions caused suffering for the native people. They lost their lands, faced new diseases, and became involved in conflicts that changed their societies forever. Many ancient cultures weakened or disappeared because of the sudden arrival of outsiders. Still, this meeting of two worlds completely transformed humanity. Trade increased, new maps were drawn, new nations rose, and the balance of power in the world shifted. The world became more connected and more aware of itself. Columbus's discovery opened a door that could never be closed again. After his first successful voyage, Columbus became a famous figure in Spain. But inside him, the fire to explore was still burning. He believed that the lands he had found were only the beginning. He was certain that even bigger discoveries were waiting for him across the ocean. In 1493, Columbus began his second voyage. This time he did not travel with only 3 ships. He sailed with a huge fleet full of soldiers, officials, farmers, and craftsmen. Everyone hoped to find mountains of gold, but the journey did not go as smoothly as expected. In some places, conflicts began between Europeans and native people. New lands were explored, new plants were discovered, but the dream of endless gold did not come true. In 1498, he set out on his 3rd voyage. During this journey, he reached the coast of South America. The mighty rivers, dense forests, and tall mountains amazed him. But back in Spain, people were growing impatient. They wanted wealth, not stories. When Columbus returned without treasure, complaints against him increased. Gradually, accusations started to rise. Some said he was too harsh with the native people. Some said he failed to govern the new settlements properly. Finally, he was arrested and sent back to Spain in chains, the same man who had once been greeted like a hero. Although the king and queen released him later, his honor was damaged. He lost much of his power, but the dream inside him did not die. He still wanted to explore more. In 1502, Columbus began his fourth and final voyage. This was the most difficult journey of his life. He traveled along the coast of Central America, fighting storms and hardships. His ships began to break, food became scarce, and at one point he was stranded on a lonely island for months. These were the toughest moments he had ever faced. When he finally returned to Spain, he was exhausted and ill. He had no wealth, no high position, and no great celebration waiting for him. The last years of his life were spent quietly, away from fame and crowds. On the 20th of May, 1506, Christopher Columbus passed away. Even in his final moments, he truly believed that he had reached Asia and found a new route to India. He never realized that he had opened the door to an entirely new world, the Americas. With time, history remembered him in two ways: as a brave explorer who changed the world, and as a man whose journeys caused great struggles for many native peoples. But no matter what, his courage, determination, and belief in the unknown made him one of the greatest explorers in human history. So you guys must tell me by commenting how you like my video. I keep bringing such videos.